This is why you should never accept a coffee date for a first date.
When a guy is suggesting to take you out on a coffee date instead of a dinner date or an activity date.
Today, we react to yet another dating standard. This time, the humble coffee date is under attack. If you're done with the games and tired of the noise, like, share, and subscribe.
I've said this before, but I think the message needs to be said again. Listen up. If somebody wants to do coffee as a first date, this is somebody who goes on a lot of first dates and not a lot of second dates, or they're very cheap. And I do not care what any other relationship expert wants to say here. The cuckoo things they say, the truth is the truth. You don't like it? Sorry, I can't help it.
Just like a woman.
So, let me get this straight. If a man suggests coffee, he's either broke or a serial dater. That's not insight. That's entitlement dressed as wisdom. Maybe, just maybe, he's trying to see if you're worth his time before investing more of his money. But that possibility? It doesn't fit your narrative. You don't want connection. You want performance. And when you don't get it, you throw a tantrum and call it a standard.
This is why you should never accept a coffee date for a first date. Perhaps it sounds convenient to you because you don't need to spend the whole evening with a stranger you may not like. But a guy who just invites you for coffee shows such low effort, it almost shows as if he's not interested in getting to know you. As if he says, let that girl prove herself first before I'm willing to take her out for dinner. But let me tell you what this says about you. If you accept a coffee date, that actually shows that you accept the bare minimum.
So let me get this straight. He invites you for coffee, and suddenly he's labeled lazy, uninterested, low effort, maybe, just maybe. He's not auditioning for a role in your romantic drama. Maybe he wants to see who you are before signing up for the bill. But instead, you twist it. If he doesn't spend big, he doesn't care. As if sincerity must be wrapped in receipts. As if a man must pay to prove you're worth his time. You're not testing effort, you're demanding performance. And then you wonder why dating feels like a job. It's because you turned it into one.
And that shows how you see yourself. Because if you don't see yourself as being worthy of something more than just a coffee, how can he be convinced? The purpose of dating is to meet new people and maybe to meet a potential boyfriend while having fun. But a coffee date doesn't sound like fun. It sounds more like a job. Okay, I'll go sit there for half an hour, see if he's worth it, see if I like him, and then we're talking. And then it's the coffee date that becomes a waste of time, because how much can you get to know somebody in half an hour to an hour? Let him take you out for dinner and enjoy it, and never forget you're a free woman. If you don't like the guy, kindly excuse yourself.
Oh, shut up.
So, hot take. Coffee dates, ice cream dates, drink dates, etc. are low effort. Okay? I had this man ask me on a date tonight, and he said, oh, let's go for drinks. I would love to take you out. And I told him, respectfully, no, I only do dinner dates. He was like, oh, I don't do dinner dates on the first date. Blocked. I'm not about to play with y'all, okay? These men, as women, we need to stop letting these men get away with low effort dates and literally doing the bare minimum, okay? Because first of all, why are you trying to get me impaired on the first date? Or why are you trying to get impaired around me on the first date? I'm uncomfortable. Absolutely not. Dinner is great. You can have drinks at dinner. That's 100% a non-negotiable for me. As soon as you're saying that you're not taking me to dinner, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not trying to convince you. It's dead. You're blocked. Goodbye. The only time I would slightly understand drinks, like a coffee date, salad date, ice cream date, etc.
So now drinks equals disrespect. Coffee equals cheap. And ice cream is a personal insult? Let me decode this. You want courtship, but only if it comes with a reservation and a bottle of red. You block a man for suggesting drinks, not because he's rude or inappropriate, but because he didn't meet your price tag. That's not high standards. That's commodified attention. You've turned dating into a luxury experience, where your presence is a reward, and he better pay to earn it. He's not allowed to test compatibility. He must impress, on command. You don't want a connection. You want confirmation that you're expensive.
Is if he's like a millionaire, billionaire, okay? Trillionaire. Like, unless you're up there. But the men that are doing this are regular men anyways. You get what I'm saying? It's regular men who don't want to spend the money on you, right? They want to feel like you have to convince them on that first date why they should take you out to a dinner, spend $200. Baby, if I take myself out to $200 dates by myself and I treat myself all the time, why would you think you're going to come in and take me to no rangy ass, like cheap ass type of drink date? No. And I get it. I feel like as women, a lot of us think of short commitment dates such as drinks, coffee, etc. as, a way for you to leave if things are uncomfortable or, like a quick exit, right? However, that's not how men view things. They're not coming from a safety standpoint. They're trying to get you turned, and also looking at it financially, like, I'm not going to spend all that money on this girl. Thinking that dinner is that much of an investment is problematic and toxic. I don't deal with it, and I'm not going to argue about it. Blocked. These men are so complacent doing the bare minimum, and if you allow a man to do the bare minimum once, baby, he going to keep doing it. That's what I've learned. That low effort shit is not flying with me at all. But I want to know what y'all think.
Now the real message comes out. Low effort men, blocked. No dinner, blocked. Not a billionaire? Better not show up with a latte. And let's talk about safety, shall we? You say women choose coffee for an easy exit, but you ignore the fact that men aren't thinking escape. They're thinking caution, financially and emotionally. They don't want to fund your fantasy only to be ghosted after dessert. Yet you mock that. You say, if I can spend $200 on myself, why shouldn't he? That's not partnership. That's entitlement with lipstick. You've mistaken luxury for loyalty. You believe effort is measured in receipts. And when men push back, you don't reflect, you retaliate. But here's the truth. If you reward a man only for spending money, you'll attract men who know how to spend, not how to stay.
If a woman is not even your type, what difference does it make if she doesn't want to go on a coffee date? You wouldn't take her out no way. So why the hell are y'all having a tantrum because that woman says she don't want a coffee date? There are women who will accept your coffee date. Get with them. Was it what she said or was it true? And you're afraid she might influence a woman who is your type not to take your crumbs. Somewhere right now, there's a 15-year-old planning his first date, and he's going to take her to a movie, dinner, or something going on. But you got 25-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 45-year-olds fighting to the death to spend anything over $20 to make her prove herself to you. Men with receding hairlines, men with ED in their 20s and 30s, and somebody got to prove themselves to you to get a proper date. If you can't afford it, just say that. But just like you can have a preference, so can everybody else. Y'all are mad because the jig is up. There once was a time where coffee dates were fine, but y'all overplayed your hand again. Women got hip to the game and said, hell no. And here we are.
Ah, yes, the coffee date apocalypse. Apparently, if a man doesn't drop a bill on date 1, he's not just cheap, he's bald, broken, and biologically failing. But let's unpack the strategy here. This isn't about preferences. It's about public shaming. Men are being mocked for budgeting, mocked for caution, mocked for not performing financial tricks for total strangers. And yet, the entire argument hinges on one assumption, that a man must prove himself for the chance to be worthy. Not connection, not compatibility, validation. You say, if she's not your type, why care? Because you're not just rejecting the coffee. You're ridiculing the man who offered it. You weaponized choice into control. And now you're upset men aren't complying. The jig is up? Maybe. But not for the coffee date. It's for the entitlement masked as empowerment.
If this message made sense to you, like the video. Subscribe for more unfiltered logic. Emotions fade. Algorithms don't. Let them know you're still thinking.